Most people think that common law marriage exists, but it doesn't. But that doesn't mean there aren't protections in place for them. So if a cohabiting couple wanted to recover any funds that they, for example, had paid towards property, but they didn't own the property, there are applications available to them in the court system that they could use to recover those funds that they had paid in. Also, couples may have had children, and they would wish to provide for them. Most people think that's just up to the age of 18, but that can be extended in certain circumstances up to the age of 21. Also, if a couple after their breakdown need a provision, or one party needs provision by the other who is wealthier, for example, for a car to drive the children around, or paying for household bills or school fees, that can also be provided for, and there is an application available to parties if that's something they need. Parties can seek legal advice, and solicitors can help them draft what we call a cohabitation agreement, which would set out what would happen if there was a breakdown in their relationship. Such cohabitation agreement can include what each party would get if there was a breakdown in a relationship. For example, if one party owns property and the other does not, what interest, if any, they would get from that property, i.e. what funds they would receive from that property. Also, if they were to have children, how those children would be provided for. Parties need to consider whereby if one party were to lose their job, how the other party would provide for them and their children if they have any. When parties are thinking about having a cohabitation agreement, they should seriously consider taking legal advice, because the court are more likely to reinforce that agreement if proceedings were ever to start again, if they were both legally represented, to ensure there hasn't been duress or pressure from one party or another to enter that agreement. And it is important for couples to consider having that cohabitation agreement drafted, because court proceedings can be very expensive. Not all is lost if they don't have one, and that's why it's important to take legal advice to see if we can settle matters for them in negotiations, and so that the party can understand what they're legally entitled to and what provision can be made for them.